Welcome to Property 360. This day, the 24th day of March, 2025. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. This is the grand tour on the property and the real estate sector in Lagos, in Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, and of course around the globe. I hope you've had a brilliant weekend. I hope that you've enjoyed time with your loved ones. We're going to go on this quick break. When we come back, we're going to be jumping into the news segment instantly. The next voice you're going to be hearing is the voice of Ndidi Amaka Kender. Don't touch that dial.
It's now the right time to buy. Expert predict home prices will keep rising in Nigeria. Expert predict home prices will keep rising due to high demand in economic factors and government policies. Read our in-depth analysis before making your buying decision. Babatunde Akingpelu, founder and lead housing analyst in Nigerian housing market, recently shared his expert views at our real estate exchange event in London. He emphasized that home prices in Nigeria are likely to keep rising due to several economic and structural factors. He noted that demand continues to outpace the supply, and with inflationary pressures and currency fluctuations, real estate remains a valuable hedge against economic uncertainties. Lagos state economy soars to $259 billion in GDP, becoming Africa's second largest investment hub. Lagos State has reinforced its position as one of Africa's leading economic centers, with a gross domestic product reaching approximately $259 billion based on purchasing power parity, PPP. This milestone places Lagos as second largest economy in Africa, coming in just behind Cairo, Egypt. The announcement was made during the launch of Lagos Economic Development Update (LEDU) on Wednesday last week. According to the report, Lagos ranks as Africa's second largest city economy by PPP, with its GDP estimated at $259.75 billion in 2023. Jackpot plans cancelled. How stricter visa policies in the UK, Canada, and the US impact housing demands in Nigeria. Over the past few years, immigration policies in Western countries have become increasingly stringent. In the US, Canada, and the UK, three of the most popular destinations of Nigerian immigrants, new visa restrictions are making it difficult for citizens of developing nations to secure residency, work permits, and student visas. For many Nigerians who once viewed immigration as a pathway for better opportunities, these restrictions are reshaping life choices. One of the emerging consequences is a potential shift in Nigeria's domestic housing demand, as fewer people are able to move abroad and instead look to establish roots locally. Adonis Fakenlu calls for urgent action to solve Lagos ghost housing crisis. The Lagos real estate market is grappling with a pressing issue. Ghost housing, a phenomenon where luxurious high-end properties remain unoccupied despite the city's severe housing deficit. While many Lagosians struggle with homelessness or substandard housing, prime residential buildings stand vacant due to speculative investments, poor urban planning, and widening social inequalities. Finally, female architects push for equal representation and economic empowerment. Female architects in Nigeria have joined calls for equal representation and economic empowerment in the built environment and beyond. The architects noted that with women occupying less than 5% of leadership positions in the country, stressing that achieving true equality requires policy implementation, systemic change, and collective action. They spoke at the 2025 International Women's Day program in Abuja, organized by the Female Architects of Nigeria, where industry experts and leaders emphasized the urgent need to bridge gender gaps in leadership, business opportunities, and decision making. This is the end of our Property 360 news. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial.
Once he was 7 years old. Welcome back to the show. It is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. Our producer, Mr. Afolabi, popularly called Afolala of Top Radio 90.9 FM. Once upon a time, he was 7 years old. And this is me saying a massive happy birthday to Mr. Afu. People don't do shows this way, but I'm not the conventional kind of person. I don't do things the way people do things. I like to do things my own way. Normally, it's going to be at the tail end of the show that you get to do a shout out. No. Some people deserve so much honor that you have to put them ahead of every other thing. And that's me saying a massive birthday to Afafo. Is an amazing human being who sacrificed himself for other people. He's become a friend and a big brother. I don't have many friends. My friends are not more than my 5 fingers, but he's found himself there. So massive happy birthday shout out to you, Mr. Fo. In case you're just tuning in, it's not a shout out show. It's a property show. It's beyond real estate. Real estate and properties. Many times I've told you guys, properties are beyond real estate. A document could be property. A voice note could be property. If you understand patents, you understand copyrights, infringement, and all of those kind of things. We are the grantor on the real estate sector and the property sector in Lagos, in Nigeria, in West Africa, Africa, and of course around the globe. My name is Aaron Seth. Those who know me call me Brewer Number One or the King of Words. I'm not here alone this morning. Indidia Maka, Queen Kender. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you so much. You did so much justice to the news. Even though it's your first time, but you did so much justice. Well,
Thank
quickly,
you.
let's jump in.
Okay.
Which one should we start with? There was this one you read out. So let's stay in the atmosphere of the season. This month is the International Women's Month here.
Yes.
Yeah, a few days ago, it was International Women's Day. And then one of the news you read was about young and vibrant women, also the elderly ones, fighting for a space in the real estate sector.
Yes.
Saying that
Female
architects only make 5% of what you have in the industry. I think that's a very small amount, 5%. You have another 95% elsewhere dominated by men. But I want us to talk about this from a different angle, Kenda. And I want us to be fair, because we have listeners who are there listening to us, and this show is going far away. I have people listening to us from the overseas. Kenda, I know I'm for women. I'm massively for women. I think that a girl child should get education, should acquire skills, should get the best of information, teach them to become what you call tech gurus,
Yes.
so that they are not enslaved by men. Because this part of the world, Africa, it looks like women are the backside, they're the back seats. Men will flaunt the money in their faces and they have to cower, you have to bow. So you have a lot of girls who make themselves hirelings, provide themselves for men for debauchery, for men to use them anyhow. And then you have this case all over Africa. So I am always, with a step forward, advocating for women, providing all that they need. But in fairness, should women truly dominate the space of architect? I know 5% is small, but should they be fighting for 50-50? Should they be fighting for 50-50 really? Because when you look at all the sectors, not just in Nigeria, people grow more often than not. Most people grow from nowhere. So you see, for instance, in the factory sector, you see people work as factory guys, get some education, come back and become a proper staff, and then grow as young partners, and then grow up to become top partners. Women are not muscularly built that way. Their anatomy doesn't support for that. So they cannot grow through the space like men will grow. So it's going to be difficult for you to have 10 persons vying for a top position in a company where people have to vote for them to occupy those space. And then out of the 10 persons, you have 8 guys who have gone through the system. It means that when they're making decisions, they are going to be concerned about the factory guy because he's gone through the struggles of factory working. So he's going to understand that, okay, since people will be like, let's vote for him because he's gone through the system. Since he's gone through the system, he understands our ordeal, he understands the pains that we go through. He's going to make better decisions to support us. But if we put this woman there, she hasn't gone through all of this. Being an architect goes beyond you designing the schematics of a building on a laptop. Sometimes you have to go for sightseeing. Sometimes you have to go through rigorous weather. It could be raining. You have to drive out. Women could panic. And she may actually be married to a man and he's looking at her protection. You can't go out now, baby. Why she's behind somebody else going to take that action? So you have all of these little futures that makes it look impossible for a woman to have the big space like guys do. But even with all of what I've said, I think 5% is a very, very small amount. I think women should have more percent. But do you think they should have 50-50 or maybe more percent? What do you think?
Well, the word dominating doesn't come to play in this because when we talk about gender equality, we're talking of 50-50, if not 50-50, let there be like a little disparity of 40-60. 5% is too minute a percentage for women to actually, it's as if we're relegated to the background. Female architects went through the same 5 years the male counterparts went through in school. I'm sure for architects, their final year project defense is usually very enormous and rigorous. And for you to graduate as an architect, you must have gone through
That rigorous.
that rigorous process. So they deserve the same, if not, I'm not trying to say you should baby feed them or spoon feed them to become things that they're not supposed to be. But then again, if someone is willing to put in the work, they deserve whatever accolade or position that their male counterparts get. Because yes, I understand a female architect is not just in the drawing of the building plan, it has to go with the supervision, making sure that your plan is actually being replicated in the building. But then again, that doesn't mean that they're not equal to the task, because whatever it takes, a an architect who is true to his or her profession will make sure that whatever they put on the paper, that it's also represented physically. So if they're asking for this, that means that there has been a long in them to be represented fully. And in the way lawyers have their own organization, architects have their own organization, and they're the presidents, the leaders in the architectural association. I think what they're clamoring for is for more representation from the female counterparts, so that when there are pressing issues, especially as it relates to women, their voices are being heard. If men are always on the hem of affairs, they don't know the pains women go through, especially being architects. And I know what men bring to the table. They bring a whole lot. However, women also bring a whole lot. So both individuals should be meshed together so that it becomes a better working environment.
Us as a people, a guy would easily navigate his path. I've had several architect friends, no colleagues, and maybe brothers, and you see the struggles that they go through to becoming an architect. It's like a doctor; you go through so much stress. Of course, later on, people see the breezy lifestyle and they think, "Oh, everything was always rosy. Wasn't always rosy. You had to go through the process." So for the ladies, you're going to go through this difficult part, and I don't think that our ladies are strong enough. I mean, it's not just our ladies, women everywhere. The anatomy is not built to struggle. I don't think they are strong enough to go through that part. And I think when men go through this part, they're seeing themselves every day. For example, a company starts, ABC company starts, an architectural company, or a company in the industry part of housing and all of that. And then you have 400 staffs. And then they've all known themselves from the very beginning. They saw the struggles that they had together. And then imagine they had junior staffs, 50 of them. These 50 guys struggled together. They saw themselves grow together. While they phased out the other senior staffs who were there, who retired over time. 50 of them, let's say you have 40 left over a decade. They are all at the helm of affairs. When it's time for votings to be done to pick who's going to be the top dog, it's going to be difficult to call the shot and say a woman should go. We're sentimental people. Human beings are sentimental. Lots of people will say they're not sentimental. If a voting system is supposed to be carried on a social space and you are there, Kender, I'll vote for you. It doesn't matter the qualities of the other persons. I'm just going to say, oh, I know Kender. There's that angle in me that's going to prick and say, I know Kender, I've got to go for Kender. You're voting out of emotions. And it's not a bad thing exactly, but of course, it gets to a point in time where you have to stamp your feet and say, no, some offices are offices that you need people who are able to run those space. So it's going to be difficult for women to get as much as they want, but they should be able to get something out of this. Let's start with 20%. Currently, it's low on 5%. Let's say in the next half a decade, it grows to 15%, 20%. That means we're going to have women in special spaces, not in the reception. You have spaces where you have women as receptionists in an architectural building, and she actually studied architecture, or she's been in the reception. And we've had cases where you hear people say that they were cleaners in a company, but they studied architecture because of how difficult it is for you to get a job currently in the country. But what do you think? Let's move away from this conversation. What do you think?
The last thing you said threw me off. It's appalling to see a receptionist that studied architecture
Oh, I tell you.
being a front desk
Just
representative.
to break you quickly, there's a video that trended of a guy a few weeks ago. It was all on our blogs, on the Nigerian blogs, of a guy who studied banking and finance. And he was the security guy in front of the bank, very popular bank. I'm not mentioning the name of the bank. And he had to have some courage to walk up to the MD one day and said, "Sir, please, this is my certificate. I studied, I went to school, I'm a very brilliant guy." He said, "You know what, let's give you a trial." And over the years, I think it's been half a decade, 5 years, he's become one of the top guys in the company. But somebody had to give him the opportunity. But when he was submitting his certification to be a cleaner, they saw his certification. And they didn't think that he should go for a better position. All they had to offer was that of a cleaner. But not to take the thoughts you have from it.
Well, the whole bureaucracy when it comes to working in Nigeria has always been there. Sometimes it affects both men and women, but largely it affects the women. I don't want men to see women as people you have to spoon feed, or we're lily livered, we're not going to be able to do the work. No, if I am up for the job and you have seen according to my patterns, I'm always delivering. I'm 100% when it comes to probably project management. I always am on like my
top of your
best,
job, yeah.
on top of my game. You don't have to look down on me as being a woman. Oh, I'm not going to be able to carry some of my duties. No, if I'm doing it and I have a record of my expertise and progress, I am equal to the task when it comes to my male counterparts. And another thing is, women are dogged. Don't forget, aside the professional angle, we also have an angle where we create a nurture life. And that is not easy, which I know that men cannot do. So if you consider in the workspace, consider that we've gone through hell and beyond to do some certain things. So work is like, it's very fickle for us when it comes to work. Any woman who is on top of her game and really wants to work, she'll go the extra mile, even more than the men, because we understand dedication and we understand expertise. And that's it. If the female architects are crying that they need to be well represented in powers in positions and all that, probably in representation when it comes to leadership position, they should be head out. It's not even the 20% you're talking about. More things should be done. At least let's start with 40, then we'll move to 50, because we're talking of gender equality, which is 50-50. Whatever you give to the male counterpart, give it to the female counterpart. Then when we have failed consistently, then you can say in times past they have failed over and over again, and this is the track record to show that they have failed. Then we can sit back because we're failed. But until then,
Equal opportunities.
yes.
All right, Lagos, this is Property 360 on top of 90.9 FM. By the way, I am not against women. We're having a conversation, and we know that we have people listening who will have varying opinions. So I had to vary from a different angle. And Kenda has just shut me up from my verifications or my varying away. Lagos, we're going to go on this quick commercial break. When we come back, Property 360 continues. I love that young man. Okay, welcome back to the show. It is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. My name is Aaron Seth. I'm not here alone this morning. I'm here with Indi Diamaka, popularly called Queen Kender. And so the next conversation we have here, Kenda, is Lagos State's economy soars to $259 billion GDP, becoming Africa's second largest investment hub. See, Nigeria is a unique country.
Yes,
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter the difficulties, we saw high.
Yeah.
And let me just quickly take that news. Lagos State has reinforced its position as one of Africa's leading economy centers, with its gross domestic product GDP reaching approximately $259 billion based on purchasing power parity. This milestone places Lagos as the second largest economy in Africa, coming in just behind Cairo, Egypt. The announcement was made during the launch of the Lagos Economic Development Update 2025 on Wednesday. According to the report, Lagos ranks as Africa's second largest city economy, with its GDP estimated at $259 billion as in 2023. I want us to come into this conversation from a different angle, and it is the uniqueness of the Lagosian, because we make this possible. We make this possible. When you hear Lagos property, it's not the billionaires, it's not the millionaires. It's beyond the billionaires and the millionaires. They say poor people have to serve the rich. Yeah, for poor people have to serve the rich.
Yes.
Yeah, I've said many times that the most important people in top radio, it's not me holding the microphone.
Obviously.
It's not Mr. Gordon Nagan, even if it's the biggest shot you have in sports in the country. even though he holds the microphone here. It is the guy who cleans the studio. If the guy who cleans the studio mistakenly messes up one of the wires, if you look under the furnitures, those wires run everywhere. Those wires run everywhere. Properly arranged, but they run everywhere. One mistake somewhere, you're going to try to fix it for 1 week. It means you're not going to have any good show here for 1 week. If the technician who is in top radio messes up something, the place is screwed for the next 1 month. You're going to find difficulties. If the application is not working. So for me, these integral parts are the most important parts. In the human body, you look at a woman's face, still staying with the month Women's Day. If I look at your face, Kenda, you look so beautiful. I'll be like such lovely lips, such brilliant eyes. But that's the physical features that I can see. But the most important thing you have in your body is your heart.
Yes.
That's what makes your heart beat. Your intestines is why you function as a person. Your brain, I can't see those things. So I think those are the most important angles, just like top radio. So the billionaires are the ones who may have taken the GDP to where it is, but they are not the most important part of Lagos. They are not the reason why Lagos runs strong. The billionaire has to be focused because his family are at his beck and call. His children can go to school, but someone takes care of his children. There's someone who sells plantain chips on the streets of Lagos. So we're looking at people who make the GDP become strong in Lagos. We're looking at the motorists, the guy who drives the Lagos blue vehicles or the yellow vehicles. They are the ones who take people to their places of work. The big guy sits in his office. He masterminds what happens in the company. But the guy who works in the mainland as an architect or an interior designer who has to travel to the island has to use that motoring system. He is in the lower pecking order of things. The guy who works for them, who's still a junior partner or is not even a partner at all. The guy who sells the plantain chips to make sure that that guy eats while he's going. It's part of why the economy is thick. He makes money, he can buy, and you have commerce, you have trade going on. So I want to talk about the Lagos people, the wit and tenacity of the Lagos person, as against what you have in other parts of the country. I've been to at least 16 states in this country. Yeah, I may be young, but I had the opportunity to travel around a lot. And the Lagos person is different in his zeal, his passion, his energy, his deliveries. He's different. He's more informed than any other person you have around the state. A Lagosian goes to any state in this country. Instantly, you say that's a Lagosian. You see the way he's moving. He gets into a vehicle. It's like, Ejekamalo, let's be going. What are we still waiting for? They'll just look at you. When they see you drop down from the vehicle in the haze, they'll be like, that's a Lagosian. I'm a Lagos guy. So what's your take on the energy and the vigor that a Lagosian puts into making sure that the GDP of the nation is strong? What's your take?
Okay, as an immigrant into Lagos, because I grew up in the East, and when I came to Lagos, I noticed that the tenacity of a typical Lagosian is on 100 all the time. It doesn't matter if it's 5:30 a.m. in the morning and you're going out to board a bus. Everybody is already as if they've been up since 7 hours ago. They are dogged, they are feisty, and they are challenging. And it has also impacted me because I've come to understand that you can't sleep in Lagos. Like, you can't just sleep, except you're making it and your money is working for you. Then you can go to bed. So I can understand if Lagos GDP has increased, because there's this saying that in Lagos, if you can make money easily in Lagos, you can also lose money easily in Lagos. So it depends on which one you're gunning for. So I can understand. You see this increase in GDP. It's a double-edged sword because it comes with its opportunities. It also comes with its challenges, because the cost of living is going to increase because there is an increase in, well, I say there's inflation because the purchasing power has increased.
Yes.
So there's going to be inflation and there's going to be high cost of living. However, there's also going to be opportunities for people who understands that with inflation comes opportunities for some certain areas. So it depends if you're wise enough to cash into it. Entertainment will always be a thriving sector. Logistics, e-commerce, and all those things. So for a Lagosian, in as much as things probably cost of living may be high, but there are also opportunities for you to make money. And I love how very feisty Lagosians are. So when it comes to the living condition of Lagosians, it boils down to both the hardworking motorists, the people who sweep the road, the loma people who clear the waste, the lasma people who control traffic, then up until the people on the highest realm of the totem pole, who are the directors, the executive, the owners of certain industries, the people that play very well. It's a cumulative effort. So when it comes to this, people should not just look at the people who own refineries or
No, no,
people
no.
who own
Far from it.
certain big establishments. No, it's a cumulative effort, because if the cleaners, the people that are the lasma, the loma, they're not working, it's a triple down effect to other people, because things are not going to go well. So it's a cumulative effort for everybody. So if we say congratulations to the big people, we should say congratulations to people on the
Absolutely. It's
downtrodden.
like
Yes.
the oil that runs from Moses' head down to his beards and
Yes.
onto his garments. It makes a lot of sense. You know, when I saw this news, I was excited. I had to put it in the news. You know what I said to myself in the morning? I said, congratulations, bro. Congratulations. Because you are massive in the real estate sector. You are massive on pushing real estate. I do real estate a few places, talk about real estate. We push real estate news here. We talk about real estate on this show. And I was like, you are part of why this is a success. I remember from last year, lots of persons listening to us from Dubai, Malta, Italy, and they called in on the show. A few sent messages and said, I like the way you talk about Nigerian real estate, and because of that, I'm going to invest in Nigerian real estate. So I want to believe that at least, even if it is minus 0.23 people that came from my end, they are part of the system. It may just be a trick, of water that falls into the ocean, but we're part of the system. And this is saying a massive congratulations to Lagosians. You may be selling pepper and you're listening to me. You may be in the supermarket and you think you don't count. You do count. You are the reason why Lagos is thick. You're the reason why Lagos breathes. You're the reason why Lagos has a voice and why it's called the center of excellence. This is Top Radio 90.9 FM. This is Property 360, the show that stands tall on excellence. My name is Brewer Number One, aka Aaron Seth. You can call me the King of Words. We're going to go on this quick, short music break. What have we got here? What have we got here? Can we do Dog Still Dawn by Zayn Malik? Lagos will be back shortly. Good morning and welcome to the show. This is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. We are the grand tour on the real estate sector and property sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, and of course around the globe. My name is Aaron Seth and this is Top Radio 90.9 FM. We're coming to the very end of the show. You want to join us on the show, you can call us on 091-3697-3485, 091-3697-3485. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp message on 08107137559, 08107137559. Please produce your check in case we have any. And of course, you can send a direct message to my WhatsApp channel at Brewer Number One, BREWERNUMBERON. I have a few of them already. I'm going to take them shortly. But in conclusion, by the way, this show is a podcast. You can find us on YouTube at Property 360 NG. Property 360 NG. Yes, we've got a few episodes right in there. You'll love what we talk about. But Kender, let's jump on this. JACPA plans cancelled. How stricter visa policies in UK, Canada, and the US impact housing demand in Nigeria. In the last 3 years, you've had about 5,000 plus Nigerians deported back into the country. And out of that 5,000, you have a massive number of 3,000 being deported as we're talking by my guy, President Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America. Yes, I think he's doing the right things. Because if I have a family, I would say my kids first before any other person. Because you're my legacy. I would like if the president would say that Nigeria first before any other country. Because Nigerians are the legacy of this nation. So he's doing the right thing. So now, let's look at it from another angle. Quickly. You have an influx of people coming back into the country. Those who are scared for their lives, who are thinking, oh, this, what is happening right now will happen to me as well. So they are coming back from every other country. Countries are making new policies. UK has joined in, Canada has joined in. Soon enough, United Arab Emirates may join in, a few other nations may join in and say, go back to your country. The way we said to Ghana in 1972, Ghana must go. Because we've done the same thing. Yes, so if you feel offended as a Nigerian, we've done the same thing we did to Ghana and every other country. So that's what Donald Trump is doing right now. Go, my people, first. Now we have an influx of people. Already we have this high inflation in housing in the country, in rental properties and if you want to buy properties. Now with these guys coming in with their dollars, because they're coming in with dollars, their money is going to matter. They can buy properties and the price will go even higher. They can rent properties, their prices will go even higher. What does this do to the everyday Nigerian who has been here building a career out of the naira and doesn't know how to make money in dollar or has never had the opportunity to make money in dollar? What does this do to them? Because already we're saying things are difficult. These guys bringing in their money, houses that are going for, a room self-contained goes for 700,000 naira to 1 million naira. What's going to happen in the next 2 months when they are in here? Will the everyday Nigerian be able to afford a living or to even buy or rent properties?
It's really very challenging because this still boils down to citizens first. Regardless if you're being deported back from wherever you're coming from into Nigeria, citizens should still matter first. This is where the housing regulation should come in and the pricing, because we spoke about it last week. There has to be a body that regulates the pricing of both the rental properties and people that are looking to buy lands and all those things. There should be a regulation, because for an average Nigerian that has been working hard all his life in Nigeria, you can't really compete with who has worked for like 10 years abroad and is coming back with his savings from either pounds, euros, or dollars. It's going to be very difficult. However, this is where the government has to regulate a lot of things, regardless of what you have, whatever currency you're competing with. Even if you there's when the exchange rate comes in, you have millions of naira. There should still be a regulation as to pricing so that the average Nigerian man is not suffering or being choked up because of the influx of foreign currency.
That's the way it should be. You should have regulators looking into this before it happens, because they're coming in their numbers, in their droves, and things will be difficult for a few persons. We've got a few messages here. Hi, bro, number one. This is Tom Fayode from Tom Fayode. God help me. From the UK. I love Kender's voice. Is Kender married? Kender is not married. Talk to me. Talk to me. We listen to your show every Monday mornings. My love wife says she loves your voice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Ruweni from Rwanda. Ruweni from Rwanda. That's a nice cliche. That's a nice one there. We're listening to your show from the supermarket. You're not the only ones who listen from the supermarket. You also have Kenyans. Why do you guys always listen from the supermarket? I need to understand that part of Africa and how they listen from the supermarkets. Is it that they are workers? I don't know. Hi, Seth. My name is Michael. I am from Dubai. Oh, my Dubai people. Great show this morning. I love Kenda's voice. All of you are loving Kenda's voice. Where is Mo? Mo is not feeling too good. She's under the weather, so she has to stay away. And great analysis today, great talking points. I love the show. You should do it more often this way. Thank you so much. We've got a few of them. Please, I can't take them because of time. We've come to the very, very end of the show. And I am advocating for a better nation. I'm pleading with us as Nigerians. Let's try and make life easy for every other person out there. You are in the real estate sector, you're in the property sector, you are in the academic sector, you are in the business owners, industry SMEs, big companies. Please make life easy for people. Let's stop skyrocketing the prices of things. Just because you have one person's price high on something, don't make it a ripple effect thing where it affects other prices. Please, because things are expensive. To buy Gary right now is as though you're buying gold. To buy beans is as though you're buying gold. I went to the market to buy Gary, beans, and rice the other day. I wish I had a wife who would do it for me. It was extremely difficult. That's me saying I'm not married. For my guys listening to me, or no, not the guys, God forbid, the ladies listening to me all the way from overseas. Property 360 has come to the end. We've come to the end. Just short one, Kenda, 30 seconds. What's your final words?
Okay. When you said about the cost of things, the cost of a bag of flour has reduced though, but the price of a loaf of bread has not reduced. I don't understand the mathematics, but Nigerians should help we Nigerians. We are for ourselves. So if we have any chance to probably reduce the price of things when it comes to probably agriculture, feeding, shelter, clothing, we should do it. All these ready to wears that are 50K for the top, 75K for the let's calm down, okay? Let's calm down. Let's help ourselves. It does not take much to be a good Nigerian, no. Just calm down, reduce your prices so that the average Nigerian can wear good clothes, feed very well, and also live very well. We're humans first. Less love.
You get this beautiful package or this kind of beautiful package from Property 360 We come your way every Mondays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Top Radio 90.9 FM. You can follow us on our social media handles on Twitter at Property360NG, on Instagram, Property360.ng, on Facebook, Property360NG, on TikTok, Property360NG. And of course, you can follow Brewer Number One on all social platforms. I leave you with my parting word as always. In these difficult times that we live in as Nigerians, you may be a Christian, tongue speaking, fully believing in all of Christ's provisions for you, with God's provisions from heaven. You may be a Muslim, you're even fasting right now. You believe in what the Quran says, you do your prayers 3 times, 7 times a day. You may be one of those who are traditional worshippers and you do all of what you do to your deity. At the end of the day, if you don't go and look for work to do, Sakba is gonna blow you. Lagos, goodbye.